Yeah, hello Twitch. How are you doing? Give YouTube a few more seconds, please. And we're on. Hey YouTube, how are you doing? Hey guys, you're early. How are you doing? Good to see you. Thank you so much. There's going to be a video at some point, probably next week. Actually online. I'm getting mixed signals from my computer. Let me check something quickly. Internet. Yes, I seem to be connected to the internet. It's always useful when someone's live streaming. Hey Juan. Yeah, Robert. Robert really wanted to try this kind of swing thing. I'm not 100% sure that it's safe for him, but he was determined. And I think this is actually a better position for him to observe my performance and, you know, the audiovisual aspects of this stream. Let's see how it goes. He seems to be having a lot of fun there. It's a swing, custom swing he built. Like, hopefully it's safe for him. Sure, I'm from Hungary and I am based in Hungary. I am streaming from Hungary right now. So what you're listening to right now, if you're listening to what I'm playing, this is the new version of Nularseq I've been working on quite frantically in the last couple of days. What I'm thinking about for tonight. If you're interested, I can actually present the new features of Nularseq, and if we're lucky, maybe we could do some real-time songwriting thing. Sounds quite risky actually, but could be fun. What do you think? So that I could present my way of coming up with these performances. Feels so good. Like as I said, in the last 2 or 3 days, I've been developing Nularseq almost non-stop. Like I was just programming and connecting these blocks in max MSP, so my brain is completely fried, and I didn't spend like almost any time actually like making music, and like I came up with a bunch of sequences right before this stream, like an hour ago or something like that. But I didn't have a lot of time to play and like experiment with them. So it just feels so good to play again. Right, Robert? I'm not sure if he's paying attention to my performance. I think he's just having fun on the swing. Rhythms. Nice one. Come on, Robert. So one of the features I've implemented in Nularseq allows me to use just one instance of this plugin and route it to multiple devices. Like I'm using one instance of Nularseq to play both the bass and the rhythm guitar right now. I want the bass to play only single notes, not chords. And actually, if you listen closely in this sequence, you can hear that the guitar and the bass are not playing exactly the same thing as I normally do. Coincidence, I think. Although Meshuggah rarely or never leave the audience be quiet for so long, I guess. Wrong button. Never happened before. Where am I now? Here. LPS, I saw your 64 pad MIDI fighter. Is that a new thing? I thought you were playing on the 4x4. It looks massive. Why am I doing this? So I keep hitting one of these instead of these. As I said, my brain must be fried. Are you going to use all those pads or arcade buttons for finger drumming as well, or did you get it specifically for melodic stuff? Oh yeah, finally I managed to hit the right button or pad. Playing here. Probably even more evil than what I normally play. see. Handy. Yeah, I just find it really difficult to separate my hands between different instruments. Like if I can dedicate only one hand to the drums, then it will be like I can't play anything like this. It will be way simpler, and I hardly ever want to sacrifice on the drums. But yeah, I find it really impressive when someone can pull it off, like playing different instruments with the two hands. There were these videos by someone called Glazes. I guess he's a drummer because he had a drum kit. Like with one hand he was playing a piano or a synthesizer, like a piano keyboard, and with the other one he was finger drumming, and he used these polyend triggers to actually play on a real acoustic drum kit using those pads. It was a pretty cool video. Hey Gianluca, welcome back. Good to see you. How's your life today? This is a swing, alright? Yeah, Robert insisted trying this swing system he built. He's alive and well. Yeah, that's a very interesting direction to explore, optimizing the layout for one-handed playing. In fact, a few weeks or maybe months ago, I had a quick chat with on Reddit with someone who only has one arm, one hand, and yeah, that started me thinking, like, my whole technique is so much based on this kind of constant right left movement. It's absolutely unsuitable for one-handed playing, but it would be such an interesting challenge to figure out what's the optimal layout and the optimal like finger usage for one-handed playing. I'm not going to figure out right now. Yeah, I think this technique would definitely have its place in a one-handed land. using any scale. The notes are not random as I chose them so that they please me. Like I liked these melodies, but yeah, they are notes from the whole chromatic scale. But I haven't implemented any scale support in Nularseq, but that's also something I'd like to do. Yeah, next. Or is this the same one? Yeah, I will show you. I will share my screen in a bit and show you what's actually happening behind the scenes, if you're interested. Another new feature of Nularseq is that I can do stuff like this. I can have breaks in a sequence. Or rests? Yeah, rests. I can program rests. Emerging patterns. Like I'm just playing this kind of simple double kick thing. Oops, sorry. And this very interesting pattern comes out of it randomly. Like I never played this exact pattern before with this sequence. Hello, Gino from India, right? Welcome back. Good to see you. Awesome. Yeah, have fun watching Robert swinging LBSC and hear you later, hopefully. Sorry, I didn't snap you. I'm trying. Your name actually sounds very Hungarian, like we have a very similar name in Hungary. I guess that's made it a bit easier to memorize it. Frontman, welcome back. Thank you for the rabbits. Hey, frontman. Robert is experimenting with a new setup using this custom swing system. How are you doing, frontman? Thank you so much. I'm so happy to hear you listen to it. Thank you. I don't think I've been told that before. Yeah, so the video for that Sivan Arbel collaboration will come out next Friday, I think. Like this one. Not yet. Thank you so much, Gianluca. I don't have a Discord yet because basically, so what I'm trying to figure out. What am I trying to figure out? So I'd like to build an actual finger drumming community, which is like, I'm a finger drummer, so it would include me, but it should be a more general finger drumming thing, not just my own promo channel. And I wouldn't have time to run 2 Discord servers simultaneously. So yeah, I just haven't figured out the best setup. Like, should it be like specific to my Twitch channel, like a Nular Discord server, or should it be a more general finger drumming Discord server? And I think I'd like to do the second one. Yeah, anyway, this is what I'm thinking about, and also just the general structure of Discord, because I'm not very experienced, to be honest, but it's coming soon. I actually managed to cross off a lot of little tasks from my Trello board. I now have a Trello board for my finger drumming and music making tasks, and the in progress column is getting nicely cleaned up now that I'm slowly getting to the end of this Sivan Arbel collaboration, with all the putting together all the promotional materials in the video and the music and everything else, and social media posts, whatever. And now I'm focusing on getting all the features I'd like to have and some features others requested into Nularseq, which I'm going to demo shortly. And I guess after that, the next chunk of work could be setting up the Discord channel. And what was I playing? I really like that one. Do you remember, Robert? I hope you're not going to fall. Yeah, that's better. Yeah, so I've been looking for like finger drumming communities, and I wasn't really satisfied with what I found, which is basically a couple of dead subreddits and a couple of Facebook groups I don't have access to. I have such a weird relationship with Facebook. Like, well, I don't use it for personal stuff. I never had a personal account until last summer, when I created one just to figure out if it would help running my official Nular page, but it didn't. So I've got this dead personal thing, but still I can't really log in to my account, and I just send them an email a couple of days ago, but they haven't responded, so I think they just hate me. Which is alright, because this will be another incentive to start a Discord server, which will be way better than any of the finger drumming Facebook groups could ever be. Going to show you what the latest version of Nularseq looks like. I'm going to explain it later. I'm just switching to this thing. Let's see if it works. Yeah, it looks like this. Alright. I figured out this glitchy thingy last time. I figured out a solution. Just give me 1 second. Capture method. Yes. Double voice is coming. Oh, thank you for letting me know. Let me see. Really? Is it still echoing? Why? Why would it do that? Unless I have no idea. Yeah, this is the Max for Live device. I developed for my finger drumming performances, and which I spent my last 2 or 3 days with almost exclusively. Is it really echoing still? Oh wait, no. I see. Maybe now? Yes. Oh yeah, alright. Sorry about that. It's really hard to debug this because I'm hearing something completely different than you. Is it better now? Or worse? Thank you so much for helping me. Thank you. Yeah, me too. I don't often use this feature of Nularseq, this kind of randomized sequence position, but I thought it's time to give it another chance. I really like this one. I paste you a link in a second. Let's wait for some Chrome glitches. You can't get this version yet because it's not public. I need to do some more debugging. This is the first ever live performance using this version. But you can download the previous version from here. Which is already very powerful. Like all my previous performances utilize that version. But the new one I think is going to be much easier to use. Much more user-friendly. Hey, newsletters. Well, it's not released yet, but I managed to squeeze in so many features, so many new things. It feels like a completely new device, at least to me. It's a MIDI panic. If you hit it, then it will disable any stuck notes or whatever. I think it's actually quite common on software synthesizers to have this kind of thing, because MIDI can go crazy every now and then, and you can get some stuck notes. But it's just like an extra safety thing. And it looks nice to have that big red button there. You're welcome. If you give it a go, then I would appreciate any feedback so that I can integrate it into the next version. Although don't get too attached to the previous version, because the new one's coming out soon. Mosh pit. sorry, I forgot to re-enable my fancier visualizer. Oh, what a piece of shit, seriously. So, what happens here? Can you see that this visualizer is now slightly offset? This is like a bug in Max for Live. Like every time I open this super simple Max for Live device, which does nothing else but displaying MIDI notes on a 4x4 grid, every time I open this preset, it will be displayed with this kind of error. And I need to open it, which can take some time, and resave it. And then it's fixed. This is my life now. Alright, one more and then we can dive into the nitty-gritty of Nularseq if you're interested, and maybe write a song together. I'm really happy to hear that you're jumping into this awesome form of expression and making music, Gino. So there are these courses which share a few things with my technique, the most important things, which is this alternating hand and mirror layout. I think these are the really important bits. So there's the Express Pads course and the Quest for Groove. I heard good things about both of these, so if that's your thing, then you could give them a go, or you can explore this on your own, which might take a bit longer, but I think it's a lot of fun to develop like a custom technique for, because it actually really depends on what kind of music you want to play. I wanted to play, among others, this kind of music, and I think my technique is quite optimized for this. Yeah, what kind of music would you like to play? With finger drumming, obviously. Good. I'm just thinking, like what specific technique might be more suited to that kind of music. Like I'm playing this acoustic drum, but a lot of finger drummers actually like just not just, but like it's a different way of making music. Just assign different samples to different pads, like Rick Feds, who's one of my favorite finger drummers. He's a really good example of that. He just seems to assign different samples of different instruments all across his Ableton push, and just trigger them in the right order. I have no idea how he plans all those layouts and performances, and how he can pull that off. That kind of very, very advanced playing, I would say. Oh, hello, my friend, the Beard Barn. Hey, welcome to the stream. I'm glad you could make it. How are you doing? How's the practicing going? But basically, I think you chill hip hop lo-fi vibes. As I said, I think having this kind of alternating hand technique is definitely a huge boost, both in terms of maximum speed and just rhythmic, like precision or accuracy, like how tight your grooves are. I think this constant movement just helps immensely. So I would definitely recommend like one of those courses I mentioned, or you can book me for private lessons if that's your thing, and I can explain the basics behind my technique, because as I said, I didn't follow any of those courses I mentioned. I built this from scratch using like a few YouTube videos for inspiration. Thank you so much. I really appreciate that. All right, shall we dive in? Are you guys interested in seeing the very latest bleeding edge features of Nularseq? I think there's a lot of latency here, so I'm just going to dive in and wait for your answer. Also, is the Norwegian crew here yet? Because the plan was to recommend some awesome Norwegian bands today. I've got some recommendations. If you have some, then shoot. Let's go. All right. I'm just going to start a new sequence here. Which one didn't? Yeah, I can also explain this, like how this works, the basic operation, if you're interested. So new feature number one is that this, which I call the input filter, now shows which pads I'm hitting. So it's a bit more interactive and easier to figure out what the hell is happening. So the basic operation is like this. I'm going to enable this toggle, which corresponds to my kick pad, and then whenever I hit that pad, this sequence will advance one step. So let's do this chromatic sequence. And oh, did I enable this? Yeah. And yeah, so this used to be very different. Let me show you what it looked like before. So Nularseq 0.7 looked like this. So these were like sliders. This feels more like an analog sequencer kind of thing, or like a sequencer used to sequence synthesizers. Like this was the pitch of the notes, and the bottom one was an octave offset for each of these notes, and the resultant note was displayed on these little red things, which were also the sequence position. And compared to that, I've got this now. Luckily, I figured out that there's this whole component like called Live Step. This is part of Max for Live, and it's really powerful, and it makes my life a lot easier and a lot simpler. And the whole device is just smaller now, like takes less space, which I think is great. So now I can, this is monophonic, by the way, so you can't, it's not a proper piano roll. I will get to the polyphonic bit at the bottom a bit later. This is, you can only enter single notes, but you can go wherever you want. You can extend this to make the sequence longer. you can zoom out. And there will be like this component supports folding as well, so that after you finished editing them, you can just remove all the unused keys so that it looks more compact. I haven't implemented that here, but it should be very easy. All right, let's go back to like just 4. You can also do this, like change the start of the sequence, which is not super useful in this context, but I couldn't just enable the sequence length thing, so if it's already there, I thought like, yeah, I might not actually use it. Or why not actually use it? Yeah, one thing I don't like about this is that the tap, like gestures, hand gestures or mouse gestures don't really work with this. Like, I actually need to go here to be able to navigate. All right, and then all these other pads, they don't do anything right now. I mean, I'm still playing the drums with them, but they don't trigger any notes. It's easy to change that. I just add my other kick to this, and then both of them will advance the sequence. Or maybe I change my mind and I will add this snare instead. Alright, let's say this one will be just the 2 kicks, this sequence, and yeah, actually I'm just going to shorten it. Yeah, just these 2 notes. Okay, there are these 4 layers. This is not new. This was also in the previous version of Nularseq. Oh, let me show you the panic button. See? All notes off. No worries. Alright, so this is layer 1, what I'm just playing here. And there are 4 of these right now. I might extend this to 8, because I found this a bit limiting, these 4. Yeah, so these are completely independent. For layer 2 now, I'm just going to use one of the snares and just program one note sequence, like so now whenever I hit any of the kicks, it will trigger this 2-note sequence. But whenever I hit the snare, it will do this other thing. Because this is actually not super exciting, so I will go with a little longer sequence. By the way, this is another brand new feature that you can actually audition what you're doing here. So like moving this note, you will actually hear what's happening. You can disable that by using this speaker icon. But it's actually really useful. So now this is my snare sequence, and this is my kick sequence. These are actually quite similar, so let's just make this a bit higher in pitch. I've got these arrow buttons which can offset the whole sequence. And I usually add like one more layer at least, like for the toms, these 2 toms, these are toms. These will, yeah, why not, why not? And Like, I really like how these different layers, different independent layers nicely interleave as I just keep jamming random grooves. And okay, another kick-ass feature I implemented, which I already showed you. Going back to my kick pattern, I can actually, if I double-click any of these notes, then it will be this empty note, which is a rest. Then its pitch doesn't even matter. Like, and that can help getting some funky rhythms. Hey Woodsy, welcome to the stream. How are you doing? How's Belgium today? Have you prepared some Norwegian favorite bands for tonight? So right now I'm just showing the latest version of Nularseq, this Max for Live device I've been working on, because I spent the last few days almost exclusively like fine-tuning and developing new features, so it's like a completely new thing now. Alright, something that's not new is like this sustain mode. Like, okay, let me just re-enable this note. Like all of these notes are sustained, unless I disable this sustain switch, and then they will be on as long as I keep holding a pad. And this is per layer, like different layers can have different sustain mode. This is sustain, this isn't. Yep, here's the random mode, which you've seen before. It instead of sequentially going through these notes, it will. So this is sequential. But now it will be randomly selected. Which can be pretty cool. Yeah, by the way, you can also rotate the sequence using the left and right arrows, if that's your thing. What? What did I start with? Yeah, this one. All right, so there are 8 presets. And switching between presets also works a bit like this panic button, like it will stop the notes, which is a feature I use all the time. Just okay, which one was the one I was working on though? No idea. Yeah, all right. I just demonstrated one of the most useful features. Just checking the chat quickly. Thank you. Yeah. I've had this. Well, not this one-man band idea. I had many one-man band ideas over the last years and decades, including live looping and playing multiple instruments at the same time. And I started like a year and a half, or a little bit over a year ago, getting this idea up and running, being able to trigger melodies while I'm also playing this. And I couldn't find anything like this at the time. So this is definitely showing my preferences. But I think it's actually quite flexible. Yeah, thank you so much. It's pretty hideous if you look into it on the inside. It's pretty dirty, but it works pretty well. Like I've been streaming this for over an hour, and it hasn't crashed, and it was working reliably. Anyway, so what I was doing, I was happily working on this sequence. I did lots of tweaks, and then I switched to a different sequence, and now it's gone. So the default mode is this auto store, which means that whenever you load a preset, the previous one will be saved. Usually when I perform, like at live streams, when I don't normally edit these sequences, then I disable this auto store because it makes recalling presets a bit faster. But I forgot to re-enable it, so my work is now gone. Anyway, I can recreate something like this. That's some random whatever. Yeah, that should work. Yeah, and then we had this thing, this very high-pitched thingy for the toms. Alright, and now I will load a different sequence, and going back, it's still there. What a relief. Alright, so in the previous version you could MIDI map these preset load buttons, like just pressing this and then you hit one of the pads or whatever MIDI buttons and it will be mapped. However, you had to do this over and over again for every instance of this plugin in every project, which is not super user friendly. So this was actually like a feature request which I didn't come up with myself. My toy, if you're here. I don't think he's here. Anyway, it was his idea, so this is what I implemented today, among others. I've got this page 2 now, absolutely hideous buttons, selecting between page 1 and page 2. Anyway, it does the job for now. And now I've got this, my own MIDI mapping utility. So I can just press this button and then MIDI map the load one button to like this thing. But I don't want to do that. I want to do this. And then this will be stored along with this this instance of Nularseq. So what you can do, you can save this as... Actually, you could just save it like this. Save it as a... What is this called? Like a device, like Ableton device. All right. And then you won't need to do this ever again. Like I never do this mapping on my drum kit. Just once. I do it once, it's a really annoying process, and then I save it as an Ableton device and I just keep recalling it. So I think this is a very, very useful feature that now you don't need to do the manual mapping every time. Will this work with the Launchpad X? I think it should work with kind of like any MIDI controller or any pad controller. However, it's best not to use any of the Ableton live control modes. Like I can go to live mode or whatever this is called, and yeah, like no, actually I shouldn't do this. Yeah, so the way it works very well, I think, is I can't remember, but I think the Launchpad X also has this drum mode. Not sure how to get there. On the Launchpad Pro, it's set up and then hitting this yellow pad, and then I'm in drum mode, which means all of these buttons, these Ableton control function buttons, are disabled. So that's super useful because I keep hitting these accidentally all the time, and then these will just keep sending MIDI notes following a drum rack layout. And I think you should be able to do something like this on the Launchpad X. If you get stuck, then let me know, and let me know, I don't know, on Instagram or somewhere. Just message me and I will try to figure it out. Okay. Yeah, this one. Okay, another feature which is not new, it just looks slightly slicker because I made this whole section a bit smaller. So these bars actually control velocity, so I can just drag them. So what I normally, or what I sometimes do, so now this will only trigger, like my snare will only trigger a note if I hit it hard enough. So this is like the accepted velocity range. Like basically roughly halfway. The very quiet notes won't do anything because they fall into this outside range. But if I hit it harder, then you can see these notes. I hope you can actually see my mouse pointer. Or I can do the opposite, like quiet notes will trigger, but loud ones won't. Sorry, that was the wrong one. And then you can do command or control double click and it's reset to the original thing. So what I use this for, I don't actually use this very often, but sometimes it's very useful, especially when I want to avoid like ghost notes triggering guitar or bass notes. Quite like this sequence actually. So the next thing is polyphony, like how I can actually trigger multiple notes. Let's stick with this sequence. So you can see this piano keyboard, this is the key basically. So when I'm on a specific step, like on this one, then I can add other notes. And in the previous version of Nularseq, this was like all this complex chord was sent out at the output of this plugin, which you could route to your guitar, which kind of makes sense, like, you know, playing a chord on a guitar. But on the bass, not so much, or not always. Like normally I want my bass to play only one note, and I couldn't do that without using two different instances of Nularseq, which would have meant programming the exact same sequence twice in two different instances and adding these extra chords in only one of them, which is, yeah, that's not happening, or that wasn't happening. Like I freaking hate duplicating the same work. Like whenever I just wanted to change, oh sorry, I want to change this note, whatever, and I would I actually had to, or would have had to change it in two different instances every time. So I didn't want to do that, so I came up with a different solution, which I thought it was going to be very easy. So what I wanted to do is just sending only the bottom note of, like, here's my chord, whatever, these three notes, and I wanted to send only the bottom note to a different MIDI channel, like MIDI channel 2. Like the whole chord would go out on MIDI channel 1, but only the bottom one on MIDI channel 2. I thought, like, yeah, the most simple thing ever, right? But then I realized this kind of limitation of Ableton Live, at least Ableton Live 10, which is the one I'm using here. This might be fixed in Ableton Live 11, because one of the huge new features in 11 is MP support, which requires multi-channel MIDI. But in 10, that's not the case. So whatever happens here, you can select a MIDI controller on your MIDI track, and you can select just one channel, one MIDI channel, or all MIDI channels. But as soon as the MIDI data enters Ableton Live, that channel data will be thrown away, and everything will be channel 1. So even if I do this, like outputting only the bottom, the lowest note of this chord on MIDI channel 2, as soon as it leaves Nularseq, it would be just, you know, sent to all channels. Yeah, I had to swear a little bit when I realized this. Oh, see you next time, Gino, and happy finger drumming. Awesome, thank you so much. All right, so I had to do something more clever and something a bit more annoying. Basically, I developed another plugin called Nularseq Receiver, and the way it looks is this. It's this very simple. Is it actually visible? Yeah, very simple plugin. You can select one number between 1 and 16, and then in Nularseq, going to page 2, you can also select a number, like actually, I'm just going to disable this to see what happens if these are not connected. So now Nularseq is not sending to any of these receivers, but if I set this to 1, so 1 is the receiver connected to the bass. So now it's sending all this MIDI data to that receiver, and it's actually sending the whole chord. Like if I just go to the first note, sorry, the first chord, this is actually like 4 notes now, but we can only hear the bottom one. And the way this works, you can select each note from the chord, like up to 4 notes for now. Maybe I will extend this later. And you can individually enable those notes. Like now I'm only going to play the lowest note. Now I'm only going to play the second lowest, the third lowest, or you can actually combine them for chords. Or you can hit this reverse switch to only play the top, like the highest note in the chord, or the second highest, and so on. So what I do here, I assign the lowest note to the bass, and then if I go to the guitar, so this is another instance of this Nularseq receiver, which is set to channel 2 or number 2, so it will receive everything sent to this number 2 thing from Nularseq. And by the way, this can happen anywhere within Ableton Live. Like, you don't actually need to connect these using traditional DAW routing. Okay, so going here, and now I will also send MIDI data to 2, and now you can also hear the guitar. But which note, right? Which note? Right now it's also the lowest one. Now it's going to be the second lowest, third lowest, or the highest, or the 3 highest notes. I quite like this. Alright, so with this setup, what we have now, if I program a sequence, a polyphonic sequence, then if I program another chord here, then the bottom note will go only to the bass and everything else will go to the guitar. Yeah, so for me, it might be a bit tricky to get this set up at first, so that's why I'm going to provide some Ableton Live templates when I release this, like I did provide one for the previous version. And now I can only use one instance of Nularseq to program both the guitar and the bass in this setup. I'm still using a different instance for the clean guitar, which is called Guitar Solo. Yeah, but that's all right because there's no duplication here. Normally, I would program a completely different sequence for this clean guitar anyway. But what I managed to avoid this is like having to program the same sequence twice, once for the bass and once for the guitar before adding the chords. And yeah, this is like a huge feature for me. Yeah, and I think it's actually really flexible. Like you could have even more instances of this Nularseq receiver, and like maybe not in this metal context, but in a more acoustic scenario, you could create like in this sequence you could program like much larger. Well, not okay, like more chords and send the bottom 2 notes to whatever, a cello, and the top 2 notes to a flute or violin, and something along these lines, like a whole ensemble of instruments. Although there's this limitation right now that you can only route 4-note chords, but this limitation comes from the fact that this whole thing didn't exist like 16 hours ago. Or even probably 12 hours ago. So it's super fresh. I'm going to extend this further. Is that it? Yeah, there are also banks of presets. Like each of these 8 banks can store 8 different sequences, but that's not a... Oh yeah, the donate button. yeah, if you want to support me for this, then you can just click that button within the device. And it will open a browser page. Thank you so much. I'm really proud of that feature. Let me add some extra guitar to pad this nonsense. It's actually surprisingly simple, I think, despite the fact that I've been developing this for a year. Yeah, that's all my Nularseq introduction for today. I hope you enjoy this. I'm going to switch back to my normal setup so that you can watch Robert's mosh pit. And not forgetting to do this thing again with my visualizer. There you go. Crucial ingredient is just jam the shit out of it. Hey John, welcome back. DJ Digito? Yeah, which one? Should it be the English convention or should it be the Electron convention? Anyway, welcome back. I think you just missed my Nularseq short or quick tour. I explain the latest additions. I hope you too. Or something like that. Awesome. I look forward to your feedback. Yeah, I'm going to just iron out a few bugs and little things in the new version, and then, yeah, it will take some time to refresh the manual, and then I will build one or two example live sets for the new version so that it will be much easier to get started with it. And then I think I can release it. Launchpad. It's still there. I can't even reach this button from like I just kept playing this thing. There's no chance I could accidentally hit this one, which opened up the guitar. I think it might be a hardware issue with this Launchpad. You're welcome. I love these hi-hats of the Steven Slate drums plugin. I managed to avoid that. Yeah, by the way, now I can disable those things. The auto store. Yeah. Yes. I'm going to write a song with this riff. I mean, I'm actually going to record it with a slightly more interesting structure. Yeah, the best man in Norway. Did you already said it? Which one is that? Ah, all right. Yeah, let's get started. By the way, whoever recommended Tony Danza Step Dance Extravaganza, that's a really cool band. Yeah, I kept listening to them. Really awesome stuff. Thank you so much. Can't remember who recommended them last time. Well, not last time, 2 weeks ago maybe? 2 weeks ago. Alright, so here's my homework exercise. You might have seen this on one of my t-shirts. Yeah, not this one. Aiming for Enrique. That's probably my favorite Norwegian band. It's this two-piece, like there's a guitarist and a drummer, and the guitarist has a massive pedal board, and he sounds like he's playing like a full full band except for the drums, obviously. And the interesting thing is that they don't sync. They don't use a metronome or MIDI sync. They just sync to each other, using their ear. There's like there's no metronome connected to the same tempo as the looper or the delay pedals. So the whole thing is just really, really organic. A very different take on live looping. I saw them live a couple of times, and one of these times I was just like 1 meter from the pedal boards, like really close to the stage, and they were just killing it. There are lots of cool live videos of them performing online, so highly recommend it. They also have stuff like this, not gent techno, but kind of like math rock techno-ish thing. Like, I think there's a song called Spice Girls. I mean, that's a song title. Rest now. that time of the night again. I want to be famous. Thank you so much. Yes, like last week, I definitely sacrificed my fingers for the community, for you guys. Like actually, I couldn't play for 2 days after the stream last night, last week. Yeah, but it's fine now. Here's one more. I mean, this is not a lot of homework yet. Anyone else wants to recommend some awesome Norwegian bands? Here's another one. I don't think you will know if I can spell them correctly. Let me try. Ribozyme. I think it's this. Well, let me double check it, because this is for eternity, right? So yeah, it must be them. Ribozyme. I think this is how it's pronounced. Ribozyme. Anyway, another awesome Norwegian band. It's kind of this. It's not even metal. It's kind of modern rock, modern prog rock something. It's not even prog really. Just contemporary alternative rock, I would say. But I think they have some really awesome songs, like well-written songs, really great singer, really good guitar sounds. They use a lot of neck pickup stuff, as far as I can tell, which I really like in that kind of music. And I don't think anyone knows this band, which is so weird. Yeah, I'm eternally grateful for Spotify for showing me the way to them. Like, really awesome band. Recommend it. From Norway. Yeah, I think I was aware of this. R. I don't know, R or were? Corner Bros. Thanks, I added them to my list. So Juan, you mentioned, if you're still with us, you mentioned Shining yesterday, which are also from Norway. At least the Norwegian Shining band are from Norway, and yeah, they're really awesome. Really unique black jazz music they play. Also, is anyone into Ulver? Jazz. Almost all of them are pretty crazy as far as I remember. Yeah, when the singer starts like playing the saxophone in the middle of that super heavy song, and just like he's an amazing saxophone player, as far as I can tell, because I'm not an amazing saxophone player, so I might be completely wrong, but yeah. Pretty unique experience to see them live. Alright, one more Gen Techno and then I'm off. It's past midnight here, I think. One more mosh pit, Robert, alright? I just really like this techno thing. What happened to my... Did I not save those chords? Of course I didn't. Excellent. Let's improvise. Shall we? Just Nularseqing one more time. Alright, let's see how it... Yep, my excellent music theory skills saved the night. Saved the day again. And did I save it this time? Yes. UK Jazz Dance. Irvin Lewis can interpret your pace. Like what I'm playing, you mean? Okay. Yes, please. I'm game. That and 2 vaccines, at least. And a stage. Oh shit, I forgot to... Why didn't you tell me that my visualizer was off again? Now I need to start my final gent techno session again. Damn. Alright, I'll check it out. Thanks for the recommendation. I think I lost the techno. Alright, it's back. like that one as the last note. Thank you so much for being here. I will attempt to rescue Robert from... Yes, from this very comfy swing before leaving. Yes. Here we go, guys. Robert in all his glory. And I'd like to thank him again for all these excellent sonic ideas and the excellent drum sound and the whole thing. I wouldn't have been able to pull this off without Robert's help. I'm just reading one more comment. Awesome. Yeah, I will check them out. Anyway, yeah, I think I sacrificed enough of my fingers for the crowd tonight, but I'll be back shortly. If you listen to this collaboration with Sivan Arbel, which is available everywhere, well, not the video, but the sound on Spotify and everywhere else, called More Addictive, then thank you. If not, then please check it out, because I think it's pretty good. And Robert thinks it's pretty good as well. And that's all for tonight. I'll be back next Monday at 8 a.m. GMT, or next Tuesday at the same time, like 9. Is it 9? Yeah, 9 p.m. GMT. Yeah. Thank you so much for your support. We had a lot of fun with Robert. I hope you too.